Alright, hey guys, it's Don Crookshank here at the bunker in Winkler. And I watched a video, I think it's a pretty good video, and I'm going to put it on my Facebook page. But I do have a few comments about it. There's a few areas that I'd maybe disagree with. So I want to quickly mention those as I'm about to promote this video, and I'm just looking at my computer here at the same point in time. Now this video is from the Austin Stone Community Church, and the way I came across this is I was actually reading an article written by the pastor there, and this video that they have up here, it's part of their sermon series, and it's part one. There's two parts. Part one, when will Jesus return? Part one, and I think it's a really great video, and it touches on a lot of important keys and important parts that much of Christianity, or many Christians, don't understand or misinterpret. And he starts in Mark 13. And so I'll let you watch the video, but I just want to make comment of a few of the critiques that I have on the video. And I made some notes, so if you see me looking away from the camera, I'm just looking at my computer screen on the notes here. And again, this is the video from the Austin Stone Community Church. You can find it online, and then go into their sermon series, When Will Jesus Return, Part 1. So some areas of concern, the pastor there, he's speaking about what's happening in Mark 13:4 till I think about 32, maybe 37-ish. And he talks about how it is culturally relevant for the time, yet that there is part of it that we can take for the future as well. And now he does say that he thinks that some of the signs could be signs of the Lord's return, but he puts a bunch of caveats on there. And he seems to be a little bit cautious and a little bit maybe too careful for my liking and for my agreement there. And so some of the things when he's talking about these signs may not be signs for the return of the Lord. I'm just going to mention some of the notes that I made. I find that that's inconsistent with the working of Jesus, and that Jesus always or often gave signs for people to know when his prophecies were being fulfilled. So if in Mark 13 we have prophecy that was culturally relevant to the disciples, he gave them some measuring sticks of how they would know that's the time. But if we're going to say that it's also relevant for future generations, then there should be signs in there as well to know when that is taking place. That's often the way that Jesus worked. He also speaks, the pastor, about how Jesus spoke in a circular way known to the Hebrews, but it's often layered. I find when Jesus speaks, it's an often layered circle, concentric circles, you could say. So as parts overlap, allowing for prophecy to be relevant to the initial audience as well as the future audience. And again, I just think that points to the idea that some of these signs we can take for the Lord's second coming. Now the speaker says, and I quoted it here, they will probably be the signs, but there's no way to know for sure. But I would disagree with that. I would want to argue that the Bible was written so that we can know about what's on Jesus' heart. Does that mean that we have the date of the Lord's return? No, I think that's very obvious that we don't, but that we can know some of the road signs, if you will, along the way. Verse 31 in Mark 13, heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away. Well, what does that mean? I believe it means that what Jesus just said will be relevant for future generations. And what he had just said, he was talking about signs of when these things will happen. So I think that's part of it too. It'll be relevant for future generations as well as the generation in which it was spoken in. In verse 32, it talks about how the angels and the Son don't know when Jesus is going to return. And I think not knowing when Jesus is going to return and not knowing what the signs are, those are two different issues. It says that they don't know when Jesus will return. That doesn't mean that there can't be road signs again along the way. Verse 32 doesn't mean that Jesus says, I don't know, to everything, to the time of his return. Maybe that's what he's talking about. The signs, well, he just described them earlier. And verse 33, Jesus says, be on guard, be alert. And he's talking about the second coming as well in those verses. And to be on guard and be alert, my question would be then, for what? You want me to be on guard and alert. What are the signs? What am I watching for? How do I know to be on guard and to be alert? And if these words point to the second coming of Jesus, then what are we being alert for? I think we're being alert to notice the road signs previously mentioned. And Jesus reiterated, you do not know when the time will come, but that doesn't discount the signs as being relevant along the way for today. So those are just the notes that I wanted to talk about, because if you watch the video, often when we talk about Jesus' second coming, we just throw our hands up in the air and we say, we don't know, we don't have any clue about anything. I think the video that I referenced, the Austin Stone Community Church, The Return of Jesus Part 1, has some great things in it, and those are just the little caveats that I would add to it. So thanks for watching this video. Part 2 I'll put up maybe next week, because there is a When Will Jesus Return Part 2, and I'll make comments on that maybe next week. But I don't want to do it back to back. I'd rather have you, if you desire, listen to Part 1 on the website of the Austin Stone Community Church and think about what I said before jumping right into Part 2. So thanks for watching, and this has been Don the Sign Guy.